know, Diablo, I remember when I first met you back in 2012. At the time, I was just a mere kid, 13 years old. A bit too addicted to playing Skyrim at the time, but come on, the game is awesome.
Tongue is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn. You're finally awake.
But by the time I stumbled upon the amazing cinematic for Diablo 3 that Blizzard released, I fell in love. Diablo was awesome. And I remember begging almost on my knees for my sister to buy the game for me because it was PG-16. My parents weren't happy about that. But she bought it for me because she's an awesome sister. Love you. Anyway, Diablo 3 was a very fun game. I didn't exactly play it on release, but as soon as I got my hands on the game, I couldn't stop. The game was awesome. It just felt good, you know? The story was fine, the ambience was cool, the music was good. The story was okay-ish, you know? It could have been better. Act 1 was really solid, the rest was mid. I did try a few different characters and different builds. It was kinda on the basis where whenever I saw someone playing a different character that seemed cool, I was like, sure, why not? I'm gonna do one too. That was basically it. I wouldn't really look into guides and the meta and what's the best build, what's the strongest, leveling, whatever. I just wanted to have fun.
No one can stop death.
Then, 2 years later, come Reapers of Souls, the DLC loved by many, hated by many more. To me, Reapers of Souls was fine. I had a lot of fun playing it. I played it even more than the base Diablo game. Paragon levels now stack infinitely, you have greater rifts, which were fun at the beginning, but got repetitive really fast. Act 5 was fine. The story was not the best, not the worst. The numbers were much bigger now, and you know, bigger number, better person. So yeah, the game was really fun. I started looking into some guides and some metas, but not that in depth, you know. I just really wanted to have fun with the game, try different stuff, see what the game had to offer, and that was it. When I was done, I was done. I was left happy and satisfied. I did try the game a few more times during the years, but nothing too hardcore. I was just creating a new seasonal character just for the fun of it, you know? Because it's a fresh start and everyone has 0 Paragon levels and everyone's at the same spot. There are some new builds and yeah, who knows? I have fun. I would try for a few days, a few hours maybe. But yeah, that was basically it. A few years go by, Diablo is in the back of my mind. I did try a few other action RPGs during that time, like PoE, Last Epoch recently, and maybe others that I don't know the name. But PoE was way too complex, not really my cup of tea, but maybe PoE 2, who knows? Last Epoch, I don't have much to say, I didn't play the game that much. But yeah, it was not like I was looking for a void to fill in a Diablo-like experience. I was just trying a new game who happened to also be an ARPG. But yeah, throughout those years, Diablo was dead. Just season after season of Diablo 3. But then, in 2018, in BlizzCon, a long-awaited announcement. The screen shows up with Diablo, and everyone is eagerly awaiting for the announcement for Diablo 4. When it comes out, and they tell us about Diablo Immortal. If you don't know Diablo Immortal is a mobile experience for Diablo where you can...
All right. Which one of you spent more money?
I'm only $22,000 in New Zealand, that is. So that's actually not that much.
I've spent 20,000 American dollars, the real monies,
for you to master. If you want to know more, we'll be back here on the Mythic stage in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chang is a personality. I love the guy, you know? But people weren't really that happy about
I
it.
just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No, it's a fully fledged Diablo experience on mobile, which everybody will get to play.
I agree with Red Shirt Guy. What the hell is Diablo Immortal? But let's be honest, Blizzard is pretty happy about it, right? Right? I guess Bobby got a new yacht. Right, Bobby? After the disappointment of Diablo Immortal, I think maybe Blizzard woke up a little bit. Alarms sounding in the studio. Everyone is like, what the fuck is Diablo Immortal? Where is Diablo 4? We want a PC experience now.
We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
So, after just 1 year, BlizzCon 2019, she appeared. And oh my god, isn't she hot? Amazing. Please step on me. Anyway, the cinematic for Diablo 4 was insane. There was this promise of a return to form in a Diablo 2 style, much more guttural and dark and bloody and I don't know. I didn't play Diablo 2. Maybe I should. And yeah, because of that awesome cinematic, the hype now was real. From 2019 until the release of the game in 2023, we did get a few news here and there. The developers were making updates throughout the years and showing concept art and then gameplay, which also seemed awesome. A lot of verticality. The combat felt good. The game looked great. Until it's March 2023 and the early access beta is finally here. And let me tell you, first impressions of the game were at best great, at worst mediocre. The systems for the game were fine. The itemization was nothing groundbreaking, just simple ARPG stuff. The story for Act 1 was actually pretty solid, so props to them for this one. The combat was heavier, slower. We have a dodge now, which is also good. But yeah, it actually felt pretty good. I liked it. But there were already some problems that people were noticing. For example, your inventory is very small, you're not gonna be carrying a lot of stuff around. Stash tabs, you don't have a lot of those, so you better be managing your inventory every time. Hey, also, gems also take space just like an item, and that sucks. And Renown was like the nightmare of I don't know how many people. Come on, it's basically a chore list that you have to go through. You're just gonna be doing objective after objective just to get your points and get your rewards. Renown sucked, and having to redo Renown, Blizzard, come on. Where the hell did you have this idea? This is like the worst idea ever. Also, Renown took away a lot from the side quests, okay? Side quests that could be good just became a chore that I wanted to do because I want the renown points. I don't remember any of them. 0. And I was dumb enough to get the early access beta, and let me tell you, I didn't like the game. I didn't even play a lot. I could have 2 weekends to play, the one I paid for and the free one. I did play the paid one, but I didn't play a lot. I got to like level 17 and I dropped the game, and I didn't play in the next one because I picked the Necromancer, and I had this fancy idea that I would lead an army of the undead and control my minions, and they would just slay the dungeon for me, which it's what a Necromancer is supposed to do. But the AI for the minions sucked. You can't control them. You can't target a specific enemy. I was feeling like I was a gravedigger, not the freaking Lich King. Come on, Blizzard, you already got this one done. Why is it so hard? So yeah, I dropped out of the game even before getting to level 25 and I forgot about it. I didn't want to touch the game. So we wait for 1 month and we get the Server Slam, the last beta that Blizzard decided to do to stress test the servers before the launch. And let me tell you, this one was the same. Actually, it was worse. They lowered the level cap from 25 to 20. They significantly reduced the drop rate for legendary items just to make it more like the actual game would be for a level 20, which is fine, but it took away a lot from the fun. Also, one detail. Apparently between betas, Blizzard did an update to change the dungeons and make them more optimized and more well-pathed and reduce backtracking. That's great, right? Except they only did it for the dungeons in Act 1. And they forgot about the rest of the game. And then they did it twice. And it still sucks. Come on. To be honest, this one just goes to show how they were handling the game. How could we not see this one coming, guys? After both the first betas were done, some info about the endgame started dropping, and it felt refreshing that we would have more content and more stuff to do. And just like she said,
we're going to have an entire world of Sanctuary for our players to offer. There's going to never be an absence of something to do.
So let's go through a list of all the new endgame content. At first, Capstone Dungeons, which basically are just dungeons but with harder bosses at the end. Hell Tides, that one is actually new. Props to them. World bosses. It's just imported from other games. They even do it in WoW. Well, we have Paragon Board. It's the same, but different. But still the same. Oh, we also have tiers. 4. Didn't Diablo 3 had like 16? I think I'm missing something. Oh, we also have nightmare dungeons. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about those. Endless possibilities of affixes so you can have as much fun as you can. But the affixes actually suck and they're gonna make your life hell.
Handle another. Can I handle 60 again? This one actually sucks though.
Thank you, Blizzard. It's June 5th and the game is finally here. Are you ready? Keyboard must be ready. Did you already take a leave of your work? Did you already do the chores that your wife asked for? Do you not have a wife? Do you not have a girlfriend? Then sit by your PC and wait for Diablo to come out. Unless you spent 20 bucks more and are playing since day one. Just like me. And I regret that. Why did I do that? Anyway, just like in the beta, I booted up a new Necromancer, hoping there would be some updates and changes to the minions. Spoiler, there wasn't. They made it even worse. The game was fun, at least until level 50, maybe a bit more. The story was good, not great. They nailed Act 1, just like in Diablo 3, and the rest was kinda mid, with an okay ending.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy.
I just didn't feel like I could connect or care much about the other characters. As the main character, you are the driving force of the story. And at times I just felt like you were along for the ride or just sitting on the sidelines, even if you are killing bosses and taking action and making stuff happen, you know? Also, the Lilith and Inarius conflict of interest kind of made me want to side with Lilith, because Inarius is a prick. And the game kind of forces you, quote unquote, to be on Inarius' side even though you're not. So you have to kill Lilith. And just because no demon bad, demon horns bad, no demon mommy for you. You know? Come on, Blizzard. Be more creative. Give me mommy. Anyway, the in-game cinematics were stunning. Gonna be showing some of them in the background. They looked amazing. There was nothing to complain. Blizzard cinematic department always deliver, okay? They always deliver, nothing to complain about. Bosses were fun, not complicated nor hard. The skill tree was a bit too simplistic, and I felt like it could have more depth, so it could provide more build variety and possibility. In my case, I was running a Necromancer at this point level 50 with a minion and bone, splinter, and spear build, which up until Nightmare difficulty was fine. But as soon as I crossed the threshold and got into Torment, the game kind of forced me to choose one side or the other, which sucked because I really like the creativity and having the possibility to just try builds and try stuff, but the game made it feel so weak that I had to give up on my minions and go with the meta bone spear damage. And oh boy, boning with it. I have to say, after level 50, I still had fun with the game. Getting the Paragon levels, getting my legendary aspects and battle roll for my items. But the powering up felt very underwhelming. Whenever I got a new legendary aspect, or a new legendary node, or a new socket, it never really felt like I was getting the bigger numbers. And yes, it did increase by a bit, but it never pushed me like, yeah, this feels good, it's so much more damage, the dungeon is so much faster now. So that was really underwhelming. The equipments never made me feel like my character is getting so much stronger now. So it got boring really fast. As soon as I got the build done, which was at level, I don't know, 68 or 69, because it was just an endless cycle of Nightmare Dungeon after Nightmare Dungeon after Nightmare Dungeon, up until you get to level 100. Where you hit this big, massive wall called Jupiter Lilith. What? What were they thinking? What were they thinking? I didn't even get there. I dropped at level 77. I only saw videos, and it's crazy. No regulation so whatsoever. After that, I was done with Diablo. And from that point on, Diablo 4 was bad.
My hurricane is ticking for 17 damage. 17 damage.
17 damage. 17 damage.
The game suffered a lot of backlash online. The suspicions of those who had a chance to test the endgame during the beta were confirmed. The game had no content and a lot of issues. I'm not gonna be going through them individually, but here's a list with a few. And, by the way, they still managed to make the game worse. After the launch, they reducing mob density in the best dungeons, reducing XP gain from dungeons because people were power leveling in the dungeons because there was nothing else to do in the game, and also by taking cooldown reduction away, which is basically the best stat you can have in games in general. It makes you spam more skills. It makes the game more fun. Come on, Blizzard, what's that about? So yeah, all that reinforced my will to not play the game. So I quit. I didn't even check any news. I casually watched a video here and there laughing about all the bad shit that was going on with Diablo. But that was it. I didn't play Season 1, but then...
But they were too late.
So Season 2 is here, and it's great. They actually fixed the game. They listened. What? Okay, wait. They didn't fix everything, but it's much better. Let's go through it slowly, okay? First of all, we have 5 new endgame bosses. We have Lord Zir, Duriel, Beast on Ice, Grigor, and Varshan. They're all really cool. They drop unique items. You can specific farm uniques now. You can target farm uniques. That's awesome. Leveling is much faster from 1 to 50 and from 50 to 100. Much faster. Much faster. Much better. Blood Harvest. Blood Harvest is basically Hell Tides on steroids, okay? You can get much more loot, have a lot of mobs, and also you can farm Potent Blood there, which is for your vampiric powers. The vampiric powers to me is the best addition they could make. okay? It changes the flow of the game. It makes the builds more flexible. You can change stuff around. If you need more tankiness, you can have more tankiness. If you have too much tankiness and you need more damage, you can work around that too. The vampiric powers are awesome. And to me, I even had an even better experience because I didn't know you could farm them from 1 to 50. So I only did that after 50 on tier 4. So my experience going from 50 to 100 also had me farming vampiric powers, which was only done at level 70 something, 80, because I was only getting potent blood from Nightmare dungeons and Legion events, whatever. But it was great. It made the game feel much better. I always had something to do. I was looking forward to getting more of the blood, to get more powers, so I could play around and have fun with my character, you know? By the way, this time I played a sorcerer, and it felt so good. It's much more powerful, and I think it goes for all classes. Every class now feels much more powerful. They have been rebalanced. They took away a little bit of the critical strike chance and vulnerable damage, which I don't really like, because the game already has so many damage buckets. So many. Just look. It's crazy. I think this is something that could be reduced. Like a few of them could be taken away. Also, they could be more descriptive. Like damage to close enemies. How close? Damage to distant enemies. How freaking far away? Also, they fixed resistances. That's why I also made a sorcerer, by the way. Resistances are really good. It caps at 70% now, so you can have 70% for every resistance, for fire damage, shadow damage, poison, whatever. And they feel great. They feel really good. They also fixed gems. Gems don't take space in your inventory anymore. Now gems are turned into materials. You get materials from mobs, and then you craft those materials into the gems that you need. Those gems still take space in the inventory, but it's much more manageable now. Before, you would have one space required for every single gem that you have. Now they all stay as a material, and you just craft those that you need. You put them in your equipment, and that's it. Much better. Could be better, but it's better. Also, they fixed the mount. The mount was broken before because you had barricades all over the map. So whenever you wanted to get somewhere, you would have to either break the barricade by leaving your horse and breaking the barricade, or just get thrown off your horse by the little archers standing in front of the barricade. Now, the mount just goes zoom! And yeah, it breaks the barricades, it's much faster, the cooldown for the speed is much faster, the cooldown to remount is faster, everything is faster. And the thing is, the game is faster, but it doesn't feel fast like an arcadey Diablo 3. It still feels like Diablo 4, but it's more fast-paced. I can get levels faster, I can get stronger faster, which is awesome. And when you hit level 100, then you're gonna start nitpicking those small rolls, getting to try new builds and other stuff, you know? Also, in that regard, I really wish we had something like build loadouts, where I could just change around builds or keep my build somewhere, because I want to try other things. I don't want to be stuck doing the same build for a character or having to create a new character to try another build. Because I'm gonna have to farm those legendary aspects anyway, and maybe I already have some of them with me, but my stash is so filled up with garbage that I don't know exactly what I need from there, and then I'm searching one after one, and then changing equipment, and then item to my inventory, and then back to the stash, and then I put it on, and then I take it off, and then I put it back there, and then I put the gem in it, then I have to take the gem off, and I don't know, just doesn't feel that good. If I had a loadout, I could just try different builds, have a lot more fun with the game. Come on, the game is supposed to be fun. It can be challenging, of course, games can be challenging. I love playing my Souls-likes, my Dark Souls, I don't want to say Lords of the Fallen because that game is not that good. Lies of P. Another thing that I think could be changed or revamped, I don't know, reworked, or maybe I'm just being nitpicky. But your end loot chase, so the loot that you're gonna use for your end game activities, you start looking for it at level 75, which in one side is really good because you save yourself from having to look at when you're level 100. But at the same time, when you get to level 100, you don't really have that much loot that is gonna be awesome, great. I really want to keep farming so I can get better loot at level 100. There are no level 100 items. The items are kept at level 80. After level 80, you don't get better items. You just get items inside an item power range. And after level 100, that power range increases, but it never surpasses the limit. You know, it's always 925. And by 80, you already can get 925 items. Right? Anyway, I think this could be improved upon. It just felt like, yeah, I got to 100. I can still get better rolls on my gear, but I can't necessarily get better gear. So yeah, I still feel like backtracking in dungeons can be really redundant sometimes, okay? Sometimes you die in an area and you're spawned all the way back at the entrance of the dungeon, and you have to be walking for like a minute. And of course, dying is my fault, but sometimes I already have gone through those checkpoint marks in the dungeon, sometimes those rooms where you go and you have to clear a bunch of mobs, and if I die, I don't know, a bit after that room, I should probably respawn on that room or close to it. But no, there has been many times where I've been respawned at the start of the dungeon. What's that about? Why do I have a checkpoint marker, a checkpoint part of the dungeon, a point that it's locked by a door, and when I unlock it, my checkpoint doesn't reset? That's just weird. That all I have to say about Season 2 is it's great. I really felt like playing the game. I really feel like playing the game still. I already have a character level 100 now, but I want to maybe try other classes now because it feels good. The leveling is much faster. Getting the items is better. The characters are much more powerful. It feels good. Some people may say it's too easy. And yes, there are builds right now that are really, really cheesy and can just steamroll through the whole content. But it doesn't matter if the game is fun. Of course, there are gonna be hardcore players who are just gonna bust through everything. But for the casual gamer, the people who just have a few hours of the day to play, or who just pick up the game a few times to play it, once in the season, once every few seasons, if the game doesn't feel good to play, why would they play it? If I can't feel powerful or that I can clear content, why should I do it? You know? It's not about being hard or being easy, it's about being fun. So that's it, guys. I hope you really liked this video, and if you liked, please like and subscribe, and be ready for more. Bye bye.